and also on sextortion, where some of these individuals are allegedly involved in cyber stalking of people online and all that. So with the investigations are still ongoing to really, establish and concretize the details of the arrest. But preliminary investigations has revealed that this is more focused on a mobile money fraud and all that. So and some of them are also, a section of them are also involved in massive impersonations of public figures online, and all of that is being investigated through the forensic exercise that is currently ongoing.
There is also the challenge where you had to rescue some individuals who from waiters or those kind of jobs, then they are forced to engage in some of these crimes. Through your investigation, you discovered that some of those arrested may not necessarily be suspected criminals, but victims that have been coerced to come here to engage in these activities.
Yes, the end of the year we had such situations where some individuals who we arrested were not necessarily, here under their own, control to do some of these things. They were, lured into the country by some individuals who, keep them hostage to undertake some of these crimes. So there have been such events in that respect earlier in the year. Currently, the investigation that is ongoing would further reveal if we have such situation in the current circumstances. As we speak, none of such has come to the fore yet.
There's also the question of one. Recently, we all know that the government, through its partnered or allied agencies, tried to register Ghanaians through the Ghana card, where you buy your SIM card, you are allowed to use your Ghana card to do the registration. Are we having a challenge regarding these registrations? Because one, why would it become so easy for some of these suspects you've arrested to buy multiple SIM cards and have it much easier to engage in some of these criminal activities? Although you are arresting them, one would bother to ask, why is it so easy for them to get access to the SIM cards, especially when the regime that is used to do the registration required some sort of identification, which most of them don't have?
I think that this is the reason why the Sector Minister, Honorable Sam George, is making a call for a look at the re-registration process, together with the other, state agencies that and all stakeholders that handle this SIM registration issue. There's obviously some gap in terms of the credibility of the process, which then creates room for people to have access to SIMs that were not even registered in their name to undertake some of these activities. So as a matter of policy, the Sector Minister is working seriously with other state agencies in tackling this particular challenge in closing the gap, because for us at the Cybersecurity Authority and also as a ministry, it is important that we look closely into that particular issue to see how we can close that gap through a re-registration or reconfirmation of the registration process to be able to close this particular gap. So I agree that there's a gap, and the ministry through the minister who had been indicating in other subsequent interview that he's looking into this matter. So we are sure that that will be worked on, and there's a government commitment to that respect, so that we can minimize some of these access to SIM cards that are not registered in the names of individuals who use them to commit some of these crimes.
In your opening remarks, you did mention that you arrested the landlord with regards to the 141 arrests you made yesterday or at dawn. How can we ensure that landlords, especially who rent their facilities to individuals, support what you're doing so that it wouldn't be as if we are giving our facilities to people? In the sense that most of these individuals who rent these facilities, they will come and tell you that, menkwana maybe rented dino, later they will bring somebody or your minia or your me cousin. By the time you realize you've rented a facility which, let's say, is a single room self-contained to one individual, but later you discover that there are 20 more people who are living with that person. How do we ensure that Ghanaian supports the cybersecurity authority, especially landlords who rent out their facilities to people?
I think that property owners must be mindful about the people that they rent their facilities and apartments to. And when you rent your facility to a certain group of people, and you realize that there are some untoward activities that are ongoing, you can quickly call 292 to make a report to the cybersecurity authority if you think whatever they are doing is in relation to cybercrime or any such activity. I think that we need everybody's support, because without the support coming from our own citizens and from everyone, we will not be able to tackle this matter very quite holistically. So it's a welcoming opportunity for a lot more of our people who are property owners and landlords in our country who rent their facility to these individuals to be mindful and watch out for the kind of things they are using their facilities to do, the kind of activities that are being undertaken in their properties. Because in this particular circumstance, this landlord lives in the same facility with the people, with the wife and the family. So we would have thought that if he's vigilant enough, he should be able to know what is ongoing, because you can have over 100 people living in your facility, and then you are not sure what kind of activities they are doing in your property and all that. It creates, first of all, problem for all of us, and even you, the individual, that maybe genuinely was just giving an accommodation out to people who are coming to rent your facility. So we are calling on property owners to help collaborate with the cybersecurity authority and law enforcement agencies in tackling some of these challenges, because what is happening is that the more we cut down on this cyber crime, it boosted the reputational image of our country out there, and also make our citizens safer to be able to go about their digital activities without being exposed to some of these cyber criminals who are deliberately setting up in certain communities to target our citizens and other foreign people from our country. So we welcome that the property owners must work with us. They must also be vigilant and mindful about where they are giving out, where they are giving their facilities to. It is key in the fight against cybercrime.
As we bring the interview to a close, individually, Ghanaians, how can we be able to identify that? Probably one, while online, there's been a link. Someone has sent a link promising juicy opportunities. How do we identify that these links may be fishy, may lead to them hacking into our system and probably using it for fictitious purposes? Secondly, how can we also identify that somebody is online and promising that, come and invest in this, you get huge returns? How are we able to identify that these things may not necessarily be genuine, but they are fictitious systems that are being used to fleece us of our resources?
I think one very key thing is that we must pay key attention to the URL that we click on, which is the website addresses, because sometimes these cyber criminals just develop another or similar websites, with just changing maybe a word or a number out of it. So if you are not careful, you go and click on the wrong address, and then you get exposed to some of these things. And also, we must have put in place stronger passwords on our gadget, including having a multi, a two or a multi-factor authentication processes where, beyond your password, there must be maybe a facial recognition or a biometric recognition of your device before anybody can have access to those things. And also, we must make sure that we do not leave our gadgets in public without not, attending to them and all that. And if you receive a link of an SMS or in your email and you are not sure, you are not expecting any such email, look closely at it before you click on those links. Otherwise, you may be exposed to cybercrime and all that. So we must stay vigilant, and the Cybersecurity Authority is putting in place measures to continue to intensify awareness. That is why, if you monitor our social media platform, we issue alerts every month to try to draw people's attention to the developing cyber activities, because cyber crimes is not just a one event; it is a multiple of activities, and based on the trends that are coming up, we issue alert to draw people's attention to the new schemes that the criminals online are developing. So we can all continue to work together, but we must stay vigilant online and not click on any link that we are not sure about.
Finally, how can Ghanaians reach out to the Cybersecurity Authority? Because you've encouraged them to reach out to you and report any suspicious characters.
They should call 292 or send a message to 292. We have a 24-hour line open at the Computer Emergency Response Unit that will take your report and take action on them. Just that sometimes in relation to these mobile money fraud issues, you should be able to report on time. Immediately you suspect that you have done a wrong transaction, kindly call 292 or send a message to 292, and we'll take it up from there with the platform owners to take action.
I wanted to end the interview, but someone has sent me a message to ask you. There are people who are sometimes blackmailed by probably they've had a relationship with somebody, they exchange naked videos, and the person may be threatening them or blackmailing them that, send me say na men circulate photo. Does this issue fall within the domain of the Cybersecurity Authority?
Yes, it does. If you look at, I'm not too sure, but I think Section 62 or around 63 of the Cybersecurity Act 1038 is an offense to leak somebody's intimate videos or nude videos online, even if you send that video to a particular individual to put out on social media without their consent. Even if it's an adult and you have, for some reasons, you are in a relationship with an individual and you have intimate videos and both of you are no longer in good terms, and you decide to threaten the individuals by saying they should offer something or they should, and all that, and you put those videos out there, that's an offense under the Cybersecurity Authority Act. And if you are reported to the Cybersecurity Authority, you can be arrested, and the minimum prison term is 3 years. So those individuals that are in the habit of sharing people's intimate videos because they have issues with them online must be mindful, because under the current act, that's an offense.
Thank you very much, Mr. Benjamin Avunyuche, Director, Communication and Strategic Partnership at the Cybersecurity Authority. We are when Yamin say holiday when you Brahma and watch church. Thank you very much. Just gone by Ora Benjamin Avunyuche, or a director in charge of communication and strategic partnership our Cybersecurity Authority in Commander Yatwin Yanetwin Wobrofum na answer na mesha se maoti asiese ba show yiswani nyan ntie so match ni pa beye oha any dianai ba kon 141 suspects omonfom so a womo ne say omoye engaged in internet fraud yibi romance scam omo a womo tena internet so na womo fechire niama no modi wiwi amanfo sika anampo wɔbɛsɛne wo message sɛ oh ebi ɔyɛ minister of say wo pɛ adwuma bi a sɛne sika ma no na ɔnyɛ den ɔmpɛ adwuma ne ma wo ɛna afei nso wɔn a wɔn yɛ momo fraud yi wɔ hɔ a na wɔn asɛne onneɛma na wɔn de atwitwi wo sika afiri wo momo account ma wɔn saa nkurɔfoɔ no nyinaa na yɛakɔkyekye wɔn ne yɛkɔkye wɔn no landlord a ɔka wɔn no nso wɔn nso yɛakye no ɛsan sɛ ne fie a wɔn bɛ renti yɛ no nipa ɛboro so ɛna ɛwɔ hɔ ɛna nneɛma a wɔn yɛ wɔ hɔ no na nkɛ wɔ sɛ wɔfrɛ mpanyinfoɔ asotire na wɔne ɔmo ɛkasa na mmom wanyɔ ne sɛnti ɔno nso yɛ kyene ka ho adeɛ baako nso ɔkaka ho ne sɛ ɛyɛ ama yɛnyɛ asɛm ne sɛ o yɛakye Nigeriafoɔ yɛakye Senegalfoɔ yɛakye weefoɔ cyber security offense na mfa wo sɛ woyɛ Ghana ni woyɛ Nigeria ni woyɛ Togolese ni yɛnya kyew na yesusu sɛ wode wo ho afɔrefɔre nneɛma no mu a mmara ne wo bedi ɛnya ade a yɛ Ghana ha wo nko a wiase afa na nyinaa cyber security ɛne ɛho nsɛm no wɔn ɛkotia ɛyɛ krono a yɛnam abɛfo kwan so a yɛde ɛbɔ saa krono no nti no yɛnhu ne sɛ ɛyɛ bɔne na ɔmo edi ɛne yɛakye ɔmo enti no sɛ yɛakye ɔmo a ma yɛmfɔrefɔre ho sɛ wei mu yɛ Nigeriafoɔ ne saa nneɛma no ɛno nhyɛ daa ɛho hia saa na mmom ne ehia ne sɛ ɔmo edi bɔne ɛne yɛakye ɔmo ɛna afei nso wɔse mo a mo renti dan ma amanfoɔ no monhwɛ yie ɛsan sɛ ebi a nipa no na wɔdi bɔne bi a saa bɔne no ɛwɔ sɛ ɔma mpanyinfoɔ aso ɛte nti sɛ wo bɛrɛnti wo dan ama obi a ɛwɔ sɛ nipa no hu bebi ofiri na se ɛdeɛn na ɔyɛ adwuma bɛn na ɔyɛ ɛsan sɛ sɛbisɛbi wanhwɛ a na wakɔfa nipa bɔne abɛtena wo fie ɛna afei nso no ɛdan no wo rɛnti na hu sɛ nipa baako na ɔka sɛ ɔbɛrɛnti dan no ɛnso ɛwɔ mu a wobɛhu na wei abɛka ne ho na ɔma yɛ bebree ɛwɔ sɛ ɔma wo hune ɛhunahuna na w'ani nso kɔɔ mo ho na ebia sɛ ɔmo di bɔne bi a wama mpanyinfoɔ aso ate sɛnea ɛbɛyɛ a yɛbɛtumi atwe ɔmo na sɛ mmara no ɛne ɔmo bɛdi a na ɛne ɔmo adi owie no ɔkyerɛ sɛ mo a mo nso ɛtɔ da a wosɛ o me wɔ bi naked video photo meliki no you gotta be careful because esi mmara no so mu na yɛde wokɔ court na yɛhu sɛ wadi bɔne a wobɛtumi akɔda mu mfie mmiɛnsa enti no monhwɛ yie paa sɛnea ɛbɛyɛ a mo a mo sɔre a na mo likiliki amanfoɔ naked videos ne photos no mmara no so mu a wobɛtumi akɔda mu mfie mmiɛnsa owie no na ɔkyerɛ sɛ mobɛtumi nso ɛne cyber security for no edi ntanhodie on 292 ubetimi asend your message anampo ubetimi afrom anampo omo WhatsApp platform nso wo ho a ubetimi afrom asend your message wo so 050 160 3111 050 160 3111 anampo ubetimi reach omo ewo omo email address so report@csa.gov.gh report@csa.gov.gh na unu me adink town de na se bibi na se obi ye na ususu se ye bone efa sa internet ne ho ensem ho a wa from no aka chom se oh metiere mu ha una niam bi koso ha mesusu se mo ba na mo be ye nhwehwemu a amanfo edi bone enam internet no so edi wiawi amanfo nti mo mbra na mo beye mu nhwehwe mo beba na wo mo abechichi sankrofo ni nyina dwumadie no Citizen Ghana on Rainbow Radio 87.5 FM Ghana 92.4 FM UK enti no metsene ameka kire mo no metnemu ama Serichi wa yini nanse mpaboa ede ama me se mentene mu ma no enti no otemene a medin ne ye Rashido Bodai province a na mote menka no meka kire se nkomo no bebre wo apaso mo bekae a eye aban we de betu dwa se amnesty omo granty amnesty sene ebe ya mo amukita etuo a eye krata ni hu no mo emphasize ntuo ni nyina embra esanse omo ahu se ntuo bebre ewo system ni mu a amanfo ni hu to ni krata bia eno mu kita ntuo no ebi mu di bone ebi mu nso kita wo mu dan mu ne niama ekeka ho but omo grant amnesty say saa tuo ni nyina amanfo mfambra amanfo ahyase de kɔ na enra eye Ora Adams Bona ono no ye executive secretary at the Small Arms Commission no wo kɔ ye papa national TV mam ho eno no ene ne coding town die omo ya na ambassador say won pai dwumadie no ho ntuma na won kebi sene ebe ya amanfo a wo communities ahodo mu a womo architecture a womo eni hu krate bia no omo fambra na ebewie mu se nipa dodo ana regions a top no Greater Accra ena etuo asesia yensa aka no womo ena womo atop pa na womo kiremu amanfo no dodo na edeba na ade ba konso omo aka won se enya ade a odi tuo ne ba ye be chew ye nchewo ye mbisa wo se tuo no nya ne he enye no ena ya ade a eye omodadwen sesia na ehia ne se obefiri wupem na odi tuo na ba na o maka che wo se kɔ odi tuo na ba kɔ na emom o twen na deadline ni so na wanfa tuo na mba na fe no mo hya ase se o mo chiche dia ene waso be hyepa ne dia ye mfi wukra ye mfi wu mbisa wo se tuo no nya ne he okofa ne ye be chew na ye de wakogina asem dibia ni edi wasem enti no se si ade mpanyifo kiremu a dwuma no ekoye esanse dodo na yesusu se omo ekitetu a eho ani tumi krate bia ye be koni akotie eye Ora Adams Bona enra one ni mpanyimfo womo eko national TV mam adwesio womo koda na se womo ka chense oh papa waye bi pa na ye samba wadwesio na ya besre se obekoswa na waboa Small Arms Commission na omwadwumadi a womu die a efa eye etuo ya ye ka ho asemi wetimi akenbi na amanfo afiri omu pem na womu de abasa ne ebe ya ye beyi saa ntuo ni nyina afiri system no na aboa ama criminal activities nso a koso a tete ye no eno nso ye betimi adi ho kitande yenko ne yenhwe se ye betimi atie saa ensem ni bia na ya babak me enhwe na minsiesi mfidie na memfasa enkomo nembra we sanse enwuhia pa ye be ko Small Arms Commission so ho na ye ne omo according town die esanse womo agipene se omo ne ye be kasa efa dwumadie yi a womo edie ne ho bebi omo di akosi bebia eko efa na afa nso no obekaya this week no Attorney General Minister of Justice Dominic Akretinga Ayene what the betu dwa say Ora Chama wuntumi a ye nyina yenim say ye frɛ no entry boss yako Chama wuntumi na ye ne popular name ebeto dwa say within the week no Attorney General be provide another update on some allegations one more eko ede 18 team ni tre hu ne nyina ne so mo so wa forging krata ede akogi sika nearly 4 million Ghana cedis na loan bi a wakogie wo kunchire krata bi na krata no enye krata ye krojin krata ya sheda akɔhye baby ye de afufa baby a ye miamia no ena wode kwaji sa loan no na no ena Attorney General na kire se ade a womo ayom nhwehwemu enche bia no womo ede ne bekɔ asem di bia na womo akoye den omo akodi na sem ne atosu biom no Ora Kofi Akpalu ono nso oye founder and leader of the Liberal Party of Ghana wono nso abeto dwa se ono nso saa yesusu se wono ne yire ani nipa bi ekeka omo ho efa kuntuna kwan so ema wo mo fuchiri niam bi ama sesi aye kase oman ni sika kodi omo nsem enti Attorney General se ono nso ye de no abekwa kogina court na yakodi nasem over forgery allegation na mobeka ya ye chi no no okoda Yoko for some time Emma ebeto just say Yoko for ye ne hu hwehwemu Emma ne manfo bi ni party hu nkrofo bi be ka kire yen say oh ensem na ye keka fa ne hu ni nyina no sebio enya ne nyina na ye no kresa na mom oni obi koye business and through the business ni mono ne amabia nsisi ye but attorney general say oma yo mu hwehwemu a no kire say papa yi ono nso forgery eni niam bia ekeka ho no womo ede ne be court enti ni nyina go apaso a ye bedi hu nkomo as it is in Ghana.
Okay, this is my motherland, lady Ghana tiny. Anything I go talk, we make a tiny. Boy, up with one near hey, Bonnie Dana Fay. Many my friend, he can see and many one pay. Malabahi can you find the Bajamin Cabo? When your local ninja lava permit capable. I promise on my own, I'm working Pioneer and Shona. But in off the Vina Sana, Nibukuna no Shona. Young wine.
Okay, yankwa woman so na yankwa twetwe nkomo ewo Small Arms Commission me ka kire mo se wo mo edin hye wura gu akwan mu a wo mo hwe ni mo se amamfo a wo mo kita ntuo a krata bia ni hu no wo mo ede beba wo bra yan bi so mo ho ase bia na dwumadie no kone sen owura Asanti jebi oye Deputy Director and Head of Policy ewo Small Arms Commission awie pacho ma wakwaba edeba as it is in Ghana 92.4 FM UK 87.5 FM Ghana yama wa official panso
yeah I think commentary I think say any thing come wa modern na bibia koso kama
amen
then I'm rainbow radio so juma from kokora wo Ghana
ya danyame ase ye je umpai bo no nso tum na ye be sha ase ebisa say aban through the Small Arms Commission mo launch gun amnesty jumedia mo ka kire Ghana for say omo a sebi omo keche ntuo a krata bia ni hu womo aye krado se omo abefri omo pem na womo dituo na ba wo bra ye mbi se omo ho asem bia na ehia ne se wo de free upem na fa bra no ye bebisa se kone sen mo sha ase no akosi sen amanfo ede ba
yo me da se papa ye di kan no menye let's correction bi se ya me adom se to me acting director policy planning research monitoring and evaluation that case any was in amnesty and question the kan ye no 18th November and Honorable Minister for the Interior Honorable Mohammed Muntaka Mubarak Edibetuga Abanshi Shaya oh yeah we declare Ghana amnesty as it change and say o mampani I'm a pardon and I say why na again say omo a ekuti atutu na yam famla kwan so anto enti nkrata bi eni hono ya tumra ankete say post for etimi so ye pachi na yedi woko gina asemi bia na yedi wa sembo nkwadu na se yedi fo a ya bo nka ana fe nka ebi kura bi ba koture fi asese de bra no ST no na nso no wo hu se dodo na ye nkrofo a yini adwenboni wo yintim na ba dodo na no na bi enim a yenim se bra bi sa ewo ho na yenim kwan be fa so be fa bra no so akotutu nti ne kokotoye enti no ye na dwen se obema sa nkrofo no akwanya na omutumi de omutuo no omatumi de omutuo no aba obia bisa won hwe ye mo won kodu ye nchi won na mo no de ba either say o de ba say wan ka say wo say tuo no kora hu himfa so nya e dam say etuo emu sum na ebetumi ape asemama wonti fabra eno ne saranda no ana say o didi say etuo no still no ehu hia o de be bo ho ban ana o de kwa hayo oba no ama posi for ehun sa o ka kire ho a omo betinke monkrata e beji wudin baby a wote wa address ni ade na etiri ya frɛ na oba ye de wa fa process na ya hwɛ na ye tinke monkrata metuo no watumi edi dwuma enam ne kwanso na ya shasi 1st December na etuemu till 15th December na ye dia ba wiye na ye ka se ade a ekoso papa amanfo ekuso a omo ede eba enti anye dia kra no enim se beye apem de ye twem ye buso a ye de eba edi se de ye ka ye no obi eni ho a wakọ ya che no ana ye bisa na stem ana ya bo no kwadu no Ghana all the 16 regions no amanfo guso a omo de eba de wuro no ye guso a ye bo de de be ya omo enti ye no betumi ate na omo nso so ede omo de aba edi se ubisa ya da na tie ye guso na after 15 January no eda honorable minister me nyanti akese wo a wanka wo de ama no ebe e masa ye kan ni pabonfo a atubatu a wo so ye beka wo aka ho bi na tse adwin proper bi ani wutrim enti ne bi etu no kokoto ye enti ade e basa na e ba ne se aposifo na security force si krom na ye so mu a ede na ye mfa ho nchew ye bebo kwadu ede wa kugina se ni bia na se ka ne bebo wo je judge ne so ko akodemo na mema amanfo asomte se ye so mu se okrotu ankrata edi ho a a 1st degree felony per the Criminal and Offences Act just one kodem kura no ani mfiedu na menyi ni se ehunhia se obia be purpose of fasa kwan so na wakwa kodem ye mfiedu ene ne etikan edi obia mamoden wa wotu pia akrata edi ho no omodin so be take advantage of the Ghana amnesty now they are called police district there eben wo
no obi be bisa say am passe you did not ask oh tionu nya ne he okoto ne he but from moa monhwehwe mu amaye ene kwan amanfo fa so a omukura ntuo a emfamra kwan so no ede portin na nam so a amanfo betimi anya that easy access to etua asebio wamamfa kwan paso ankoje no
yo medasi no kwasem ubisa ya ye tiere se ye hu se Ghana ya hye so a ye friend borders no dodo na ye poros a se tiere se ye easy se amanfo tumi de eku from edi egura omayimu especially through the unapproved routes na wo hwe amana man ye twa ye ho ahia wo hwe Sahel akon akokon esi ho ne ade a ama etuo ni bi o ha ya kon awie na obere na ekutikuta manfo na ebi ono so pese obeton amobi na wagi ni sika ti obere na ebi akofa da borders mo ye de abado yura omayimu ede ye baako etasu bi ye we nyan mu bi omo approach a omo so na mu say ye business opportunity omo de be pesika de egu ye botom the same thing say wo say ye won krofo bi omo sorry asu ye petua boy ipitia boy ko ba enti oti abroche de bi a person obenya no fofofo oba the town Ghana ha enfaso bebre enti be no odi ahye container mo anaka party bim odi ahye ni memu no odi egura oman mu through Temaport na according to nsemo amfa mra kwan so se de mi kan do na abehwe no because ni ma woni mu nti no so akwa akoto enti eno so another way na bi o so ye wo blacksmith wo man mu a omo so eni mutio ba even though it amra omo so bo ne de gisika edigu ye botom enti be obi wa onim o so mi hia bi abon ho ban na wakwa akoto enti we no mu ye kwan hodo a etio enam to be called in Crawford, some Abraham for Emra Kwanso. Now, I don't think I hear public education. Now, your church, Mamma for the Rona. In the Crawford, I say, oh, now you need a tea education, or you think you could to be. Now, what church, a tune cry, who say, Young Concoto. Aha, 18 or your body see a better church. Now, a month for every 18 or one, I wouldn't more. What was our coin so Akoto? Oh, and I catch us says the women's are doing Bonnie be a new Tim Quanti. Never more time say, oh, the bomb of buying. Obi couldn't himself with you crack or hire yourself from Raquanson out of Nina and a from Raquanson, one from Raquanson, what from Ra. It is uncle for the show when him say, Omudi Omutu back. Other some Babana pussy for the Bomo. Your life, and as I said, the Ekano, the Tunukura, and I want to meet you to Kwasi, Mobaya, Saranda. Na fabra pusi for na yenseno entina sana
no obinso be bisa say Ghana ha no won say ye wa mamre ni amane a ban festival sa ye wo sa omo a omo kita sa ntuo ibia omo paya ye de powder gumu e na afen so ye gianomo a wo kọ kwaye mu eko hante bushmeat ni sa niamaniama no womo no obi beka say omo e de ye adwuma na ekwan a omo be fa so a womo edi be yisu sa tuo no emra no ma mo kwan say omo ne mpanyimfo mbetena sen kanchiro mo say oh me kokwaye ekope enamba fie afen so eba no eye festivals na media himfo echi papa tuo no womo no e woso mo beji to me krata bi ansana womo de edisa nwuma na omo didi nana
me da se pa sa pepe o kombra ni mo a e wo mu sa wo mu nyina na se wo mu ji to me krata enti emra na kire se ba se odi tuo edi duma enam se etuo mu osum ntino ye nton no te se de se bi ukodwa so akwakoto eto bibia keke enti ne sa wo de kwa hayo se de wo kan wo de kwa ye makoko mo ntwen ne nkranti abre ma ye nkwa mu ayede yese bra na ba ji to me krata afakokoto enti no wo mu nyina no e se ye ji to me krata afahye nso so eno so wo mbre no mu se mo pese mo di tuo ekodi afahye eye gampa de ya no so no fa posifo no akwa ji to me krata na eno so kwa no mo kwa aposifo eka mo ho bia se bibia abekọ se de se ye no na enne no eya akoye se suatra enti no wahwa se de wa ka se nka grandfather no enne ye twemu grandfather ma amanfo ekotwe etua use live ammunition obere ne atwe pump action gun ne de nam afahye na se obere ne ato na akofum na akwakokum bi enne kura de obere ne obu ho oni ahimfie na akofa ni tuo no so afahye enti no so de nam ase ye ka sei efi 1 December kosi 15 January ya the temporary ban the atoso aban abra the emobia nkotiti wa afahye ana eyi bia ase aposifo so mu a ya beche se wa ye na ye nya wo a ma na nya so ya kanso enye adwuma se me ka se minister ni abre ya obo aposifo agina amane se omo aposifo original commanders ni nyina amane na obia nhye ne nso se obi kokotiti wa afahye so afahye ase if you say bria kosi 15 December na watumra ye be so opechi ni nyina ne se ye pese ye ni ye himfo no ekabom na ye hwe kwa ye be fasto a ye betumi streamline niema na dia ye betumi ayi fitu wo ya fashem awo ne kwanso ni sense ni se dia wo ka ye no ye hu se edi ewu nkrofo bebre enam so a ye ahwere ye nkwa enti no ye yabra yusu na ya hwe na ye ne himfo no atete nkrofo ese so mu yusu sa etu na ya hwe ahye won so na ya hwe nse ye be yusu etu a eye gunpowder na mo no enye tu a eye live ammunition se de ye hu no ye de niema egugu akwam na afei ya sha ketu se ye de etu di ya fase nti bi sa ya ta pepe na te mu bie ni ho a se okwati mra no na akokoto ebasa wati amra
na obi nso be bisa se senia wo ken ebia ne pa no onko kwaye mu onko afahye but opese onu akoto tuo na ode kotu ni dem na ode bo ne ho ban ba yenimu se emra ewo ho obia keke na obetimi asori akase oh me kopetu ato nti me kwa aposifo ho na omuma metume krata na me nkoto tua na emra ne sese wo ho nipa ben sa ena emra ne mo ho kwan se oh wo ho kwan se ukototuo na o de bo ho by circumstances ben ena betimi aba ne se ye agi atomu ama ya ma okrata se ahan kototuo
me da se papa ti mra no etre se yedi kan oba ye ma mu ha okoma bi so aye ma amanfo kwan e ma ye ntotuo batoba ye ma mu a emra no e ma ho kwan na emra no tre se enye right e opportunity say any bibia say chinchina ya de maw to say akola bia ni education it's a right obebetua it's not a right, it's an opportunity, it's a privilege, and privilege also comes with responsibility. Etimrane chese ni di kan no e say wo you bi a wadi mfie edu wotwe e de kro e bio e say you bi a wadwini mu eda ho e say ntini say nyina yinim say sabi obi adwini mu kano na okuta idea etumidi ewu a yenyina we can imagine what can happen in the say nipa na dream da ho ebi omra ne say oyi obi a the who sisi ne ho so physically fit at say tune ya de she won sakura na sa akwa hia pa say we use tune na obetumi di tune edi djuma ben konko ba say obetu tune no be wi no na ba ne tune kura peja wakoto ba bi eno so ya de ba akon ena bi o so say mra na kire say oyi obi a utumi ema prove sampa ukura djuma eno nti adwuma a wo ye ne ho be hia say wo be nya tune na ba ho ban in fact tune na fa so koto no kura no o ho akade a wo de kwa koto ni nyina no mra na hwe ena bi o so mra no kire say ada say wo na wo koto anase bi ye japade a ye di eja wo eno so no ni nyina na so kwa posifo ni ye do fa emra kwa no so ena bi o so say oyi obi a obetumi a kire say etu na ye mo akwa no akoto no o ba bi a betumi akora tu na obi ansa enkonko kan etu no gese won kwa nobody should have access to the weapon the same thing say obi ko fa tu no di kodin semoni bi a o ena ho be kire wo ye ta tete be ne bi a eje bi a apuma ni tu e dia kire de dem ko na ba bi ne nkola e dia agro ni akwa ko ni akwa akofa ye mention na omu sisaye to yi toy guns mo omu di agro enti o yin ni nyina no hu tuo se o tuo de si di agro be no akwa akofa wo ya me kun omu sisaye nyina ya tutu e si wo mu o se shadada o se de wo no enti be no akofa ni papa tuo a abowo apoma akwala o nim hwe no akopulu trigger pum wo kunini e ta sisi e ba sa wo a tuo ni o dia no wanya amane na no yete Kumasi school kola bi ni akofa yen papa no tuo di ko school omo enya amane ni say oba ana obi enya access to it to emra na kire say onya ba bi so betumi akora etuo no esuye it this is the criteria and as a qualification emra na hye afto it is say be say obi asori ya na o say o me kwa kopetu it is say wo hwe na wo hwe say wadi fie du wotwe ko say de America no nya no nko a wadwene mu da ho ebi osu ba ko am say no refie manya ni say wo yi obi a wo ne aban enya amane da you shouldn't have any criminal record. Etino say you be a criminal record a untumi nko aposi for nko ka say unpitu abo ho ban ni ama utumi krata say fa kokoto tuo no enti criteria na qualification na mabosom but eno achi no nenso meta ka say wan ka say wi access hu ye pa na bi say say ni bia twa ya o si wunyen so ehu hia mpa na the same thing say ebiru makoto tuo si e de ba ye ho ban ma enam tuo no so mmom kura hwere ho nkwa yenim ya titi bia alifa bonfo ko ye ne ye ko ataki won ye wi mpa ye ko ye twa ye ne ye hu se wo kwa ko fadi tu no wato dia bon e da pum wo mo ye fa bi so mo manku wa wo be kunyan e no mo ku no mo fa tu no ko areka ho e mi so akoji tu si e de boy ho ban afemba ye gina ho ne ye ho wo su se ya na alifa bonfo no ma ba ji tu no de fi wo mo nsem e ti no mi petu abo mo ba no kwa se mi nche da hu statistics papa dia e dia down je se wo mo e wo tu de boy ho ban no danko for no bibi ba yetumi di twitwa edede ye ho eye mako na modudo na be no na etuo no wonu mumu no na ama na nya some false impression be about ne ho and so me tese say de me no many ajiman ni kuratuo wo ye ro fa nti na se me nya se bia kora na obe na etuo no na obi ofa dia kire se ni otuo di agora wanhwa asembeto ede na ma obi tumi nya akukuduro kokoshutu soja ni wasa se ho no as say no menim say wonu no pa enti tuo betumi ama wa ya de eri say wo ye ubewie no na wonu ho enti me no me ka say access wo ye na ebe ya there are other means of self protection apart from it you dey say last resort okra there were other means e betumi afa so de aboye ho ban mo ma ye nse so tuo so e so wan hwe tuo betumi pian e de wa kwa akɔhye afiase ye nyina ye minim say dodo na atia ba ye no ye ni afi no ye de ma branch e bi si so anye e fro ni G-man tete na a very bright future ene ye da nyame afi wakodem asa afiase e bi se nyame ehu ne mobo nyina ne se tuition ho abufu woni taxi abufu ko baaye na ni tie na pum okum obiba e ma okodem anka okodem for life enti ye won krofo bi sa de prison enti ni yesre etuo de me ma ni nya so bi petuo ene na menya de bom ho baa na chese bawie enya no kore dem ahweyie ene se nyina be se ye na ma we should be conscious about our environment. Enti no bisa ya tande tie enti obi ansore kekese enti no minka bi ozi ye wonkofo a abaya ma wotumi krata ye de kratu di fiama no ne bo man mu a okọ aposifo na akọji tumi krata na wakọ wo ho na wakọ koto ye fere on licensed arms dealers eti omo na police for no be kire ba bi omo okwa na wa kire ki be bi ye shop no na etu a wo pe no na ya kire no wakoyi uwi a na fa de ko police for na license de amount edi so bi a be ka kire so obi wo tu a me ton mi wo pese obi me ton ni sei enti first capital me ton ma wa then ni pa me pa cho obu mbra so onye obi a odi mbra so oyo mambofo edi hwe na wa nkwa nkoto se atu no me senti se mbra no so mu a eni obedi na nyonyo
ya de yan komo ne bewe ye no obi bebisa say enra mo boss can say in terms of regional way no Greater Accra na atop is it the case say is the regional capital higher busy ntina akoba ne sana to dodo na no Accra na wo
yo me da say I say enya dia me eheda ye me nwa bebre ni senti ni say o share the nature of Accra. The Accra is the national the capital the national capital we said the nipa estigu o me ekroimu ene said the edu ba bia na sensemone so adoso ewo ekroimu enti ne begiri say ni nyina aka ho na ma nkrofo dodo na dia na ye so ye petua bo ho ba ba no awa akoto so ena ti se na me kika ka ese bitumi fita ma habo ni ade na bewura ayimu eba Accra ha ena dodo na ni nyina no ewo ena bio so no dewuro no ya bono dodo wa Accra mo e chen ukọ the other regions na ya di egusu a yebo ye ho money si bitumi die true e ho no ni nyina enti no ense na nya ho bebre se Greater Accra na LED as we speak enti no am say no de ya dia enti ase ewum. The same thing say we have most of the radio stations are almost free omo ne e kasa de wuro no e ko dodo na eti enti no omo de eba ebi de ba say ye regularize mo ebi so de ba say o monye na mo fan to bi say tu no kora be hu say nya de a ho e sheda ehia enti no after last week Friday I ended week 3 no de na say the all canon na dodo na no e fi Greater Accra e betuma ba say e be sesa as a Sanswa and Shada Nyawa Pisa, the same thing is the nature of Accra, and Yawa said, the Beba said, a cube Bonano, a one for and some more Greater Accra region.
In your initial remarks, no can say, Dudwa Monsakano, 1,000, is that a figure?
Man can say 1,000. The American say, Mijini said, as we speak, more than 1,000 at the core. Mijini said, more than 1,000 at the core. And the figure, Nanka said, the mini figure, but Mijini said, we have more than 1,000 a year. Omodi akwa yanchi obi ebisa obi asem. Ana amanfo guswa so omodi ba. Ejeno ye obi amobade so de beko. Men suro se wo kwa obi beko akọ report wa na obi funu funu adabi. Ali so far yanti bibi asa. But se wokọ na bibi sa nso a obetumi afre commission no. Police ni ko a obebisa wasema na obi funu funu no. I can promise you say minister tia ni pa na so be hye papa. The same thing say ya church wo. Amo matia say star amnesty o mampeni ankasa e na o se mama ho kwan obi amfamra mu misa no hwe mo kare mo nya no hwe enti se wonni na akokoye de a na chese obese obu o mampeni asem so e ba sa waso be yeshi enti me de number do tuya da woko na obi bisa wasem ana obi so ogun kura wa wo de e fra ye number no fra ye was 0599 070 944 0599 070 944 na ofre na akatre ya police station kura na district kura na officer kura o yes ano ye be ma aba be yi ne ho ano but I can assure you that it is police for the two nyina say ye hwe no obi anko bi so obi ahwe anko huru anko titi obi a ne stage ni say basa waso ebe shi papa
we dey mamim bi so process na nkasa no nipa no obeba mwasue ya mwa designate ana se obe France ana mo ma kire ni so fabra na any police station bi e be ni bia no obetimi de akoho
mo obisa sem papa ma ye mi de ye tie ne se ye designate collection center basically no the police district district assembly bia ye police district ewo the one police district now ko police station na omo be kire baby a district ni wa omo didi search you no police district na ye di se adumadi no na okwa na odi utu no ko aboba so ka ho be pa che wo kwa emfa utu no nkra sa keke ebetumi ama wanya asem enti bomodin so bepe bag bi ana adaka bi ana bibi e di akra kama na mo obi hu se tuo kra di kra ani aboba no so di ahya de kama na ode ko na wokọ na omoji tuo no wie na yelema receipt no to ensure transparency no no be di adance say ye receipt book no mu a etuo ebi a 40 ne age ampa so ye see expect say be hu etuo 40 etuo bia de ne de ko a mesrew bomodi so be receipt ansa na wakọ e wa anyi receipt na wokọ eba se wo de no obi ekokowia na eba asa bogura oyi oman mu bedin samone a ebi aye hu se bibie ni ho a edi adance se etuo ba ko bi ekoye eti bomodin tikirituo no ho na ko okọ akache on se amnesty ni na waba odi tuo no ba se yenye ana wo de ba se yemo ana register bi so pe se wo de bo ho ban ye be ginye bi san se bi ni etintim krata ni ama receipt na wo de ko actually be fro me take you through the process enti na obi say asanete enti men se bi so obi be ka che so yi ni ba bi ha aye se di tu enye police station e pa cho oboa enya no kre enti wo de call police district bia na wo de police station also we be bia e di tu na omo be che na wo di akọ na mo bi so a ebi obi wo ha na bi nti ontumi mfa nkwa o frɛ ya beba na ya ba be boa na ya be gi tu no e di akọ yakọ di bita o frɛ ya beba nti number na mdi tu bia no so o fra ya beba be boa na ya ba be gi tu no di akọ ya obi no so ho a o mo tu bi ntwetwe o mo de ma nya o mo mpo no mo toye ebi a ne papa bi a na o ti ase ne wo fa bi ne nana bi na ya ne dia wo wukọ etuo no kyire obi a fa anya hwe na no ane se twero mesrɛ asem bi sia na posifo bi ho a ahwa wontumi improve se statue no nyawo na ye wodia eti amnesty period yi mu no bomodin statue ni nyina momian se ni nyina na yemfa nkonkoma aposifo na every your system no mu na ankofa amani bia mfamre yemu biara ebetuma ama yankasa yenkwa ato adwam edi sa kan amnesty no team that so ne say silencing the guns to save our lives we ye the gi yankasa yenkwa the same thing say stray bullets ekunkum nkrofobia nke betumi atu yemu bia eti silence tuo no near the agi yankasa ye hu enkwa Ghana the tagline I say let's save our lives I say let's silence the guns to save our own lives eti we ni the yankasa yenkwa na ye bomodin say ye bebo hu ban e dey free etuo na tagline I say guns down Ghana up and say yemfa etuo no emu form na Ghana entumi enko nanim ewo mpuntuom ewo adwumom na bibia entumi enko so emayen se oman na emfa emputio kese emfa mre nyina
obi si mi mbisa o say encouragement ya wo mei in terms of omo a wo mode beba no will it be at the cost of the one presenting the gun no ana abai no ebi obeka say oh we are with dia be o de me pone bibi kitwe bi mfama na umfanya o transportation na we de your man adwuma ntine obi a ye na fam de
yo medase no kwasem ye dwe ho senka ye betumi enye bibi kakra dia ma so je fafaka akọ ye gusu a ye dwe ho ensi ye entina no mentumi enkase ebeba so anase emaso na momo no se ebeba so se emaso mama yenti e wan se ni ayeye no yankasa na ye de eboa ye ho the same thing is said ye meka ye no 15 January ni twam ni ye da chewa wo kwa akodem eno na se odwen ho na bi sa ho se mamfa tu ya anko na ye ba be chimia am I ready to go through all that count the cost of the wo court ebi kura e be ma ubin yes bra court almost every day wo court and I wo report my post for TC be di wasem ye di wasem wi e bisa ho se ye e ka ben ye be bo me so me ko e ba se me ko dem mfie du a bisa ho se ese wo wet the trouble enti enu mu na mo me yanyi ho na yan fa etuo no nko e bisa wan fa nko a I can assure you ya ye amnesty bi no betwa mu a ye wi ye no no bi ate koda ye yes sa amnesty ni ye nye bi enti this time no de wan fa nko a e chese said the minister can who could have been born. They are coming after you, and I can promise you. Already, I post for the media, you are in the media, and you want to say it. They are already conducting swoop searches, arresting people here and there. You already know. And you can be assured, say, MC by elections, before the elections, near teaching Kophobia, you could you were Kermuniadi. I can assure Ghanaians, after the 15th January, they are coming after people. It's not going to be business as usual. They are coming after people. Now, I show you what them.
But coming after people, no, Obinsubeye a bit skeptical. Say, do we have the system to track? Say, bia. Kweku menu bi oti baby ya mansa oti baby ya ma amnesty no wamfa ni tuo na anko wo de hyeni dan mu enti yetimi atrack ya akoche no mo that system no.
Oh my brother, I can assure you it will happen. And I said you okay no so obi nim say obi wo wamfa anko. Informants will also be rewarded. It is a blue na obi nim say wo tuo wamfa anko nipa no so betuma tuku no aba da gye na yi ahye no ho che ba ne aba da pepe ne do ko. And as we speak, your weapons detection equipment next year, bomodin see to be a camo. And also the bag will feature it will be over there. If you didn't detect it, it means in there several means and will be a new for. The IM penny amount for better say I started the chain for any need breaker. One share the door now yet too late. Into my near king. It will happen. The informant, the other cultivate your mo, it will reward them. You will be no now one farmer, Nipan better or two. What you see, what show their money about the pickle. It must remember ye near king, near Momo days that you know, ever go.
Papa Bronya Brens, when you mre at your Maya church and Yamemu, Minu yen crack crown, Obinsu baby say. In the unlikely event, say, Obi di Choni ba, Ebia ne panel or the Abawa court. Na ebia through your examination mo hwehwe ntuo ni mo classify and say oh we a pistol we say na koba ne say you detected say ebia say tuo obi didi e de di boni bi pen baby years bi ko afei na through this amnesty no abeto madesu a can you track na ebia baby a tuo ni free buy no mo de kire aye ho investigation ana.
Yo, but that's it. I will be say it's something that is a possibility. Now I am sure, sir, they do on more definitely. Or move you more now, or move said the assembly here. Yeah, better now ye the year after year. But said the year cano, it's an amnesty. You know, a bit to me about say, Obi Kurabi to me, Aquacofa, Obi City, I know family and the team also with you on Beso di tune, Baba. Menso Adiana Matete, look to me after tune on Mediabana. Of course, who to me the tune at the Ako. Okra, if you are here besides and I want you now with the Abbey, no Akokasi be a move for two and I'm in the Abbey. It's in a blue or now with the two beside at the Abba. What boy am every year you said you know at the free system. It's you know, said you will be sano. A blue ho now a posting for your movie no more share the nature and the merit of the case. Me sure says it's going to be on case by case basis, but we cannot flout the pardon granted by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, being to be in Koyibi, that is opposite. And the blue near Emrano Ekasa, you go to me, I know. The Giddy said, but the teacher said, Yamekano. It is not to target anybody. He understands you need to do on a free system. No more. Now, Abuama Yasum, Geno, Etni, and Bambo, to me, Edimo. Essentially, you kill the Bri or Potemwa, Edi Hubanitum. And a simple crazy obedient before Kochia, where now we have to know the I feel another day that conflict in the Ekaka Ebano. But say in me and Temoa, a boy a bufuba, if you will be the atom, if you will be the issue, the better mass will be about no be at any baby. Then we'll say, Chu, Obinia Shen and Quape, when will be so yes, Mensono, Mensomer revenge, and on a MYN. And you focus on it, you say, you need to marry Chibu, say, you do not. The free system, the money say, target will be say, Yabako.
Pacho Yadas Papa Bonama Nisubioma, Yetie for Senia Baya Obi Tiena, or Person Nemo Edinkton with dear, with Timmy Abonamba, Nanti Bosubiomame.
Yo, 0599 070 944 0599 070 944. National Commission on Small Arms and Light Weapons. Your number no. The better must see rainbow. The mama yes a coin yen so ye to me a church any momo. megye sɛ motifo a etie no ɔmo a etuo wɔ yɛn ho a yɛni nkrataa no yɛbɛtie na sopom ɛyɛ yɛn a ɛbɛboa yɛn ne yɛn daakye na mmom no yɛnkɔyɛ asoɔden a akyire yɛbɛbɔ yɛn nsa no ne aka sɛ mehu yanka so deɛ na aka akyire yɛmfa nka asɛm yɛda mase bebree
yɛn so yɛda ase papaapa sɛ onya abrɛ ɛde ma nyame nhyira wo ora Asante JB oye acting director head policy planning monitoring and evaluation ewo small arms commission ena yene no edi enkitawodie no wetie ne oka yene nyina nti no Ghana for mo asompa wakyerɛkyerɛ nneɛma ama yenya ne nti ase se etuo de ukita na wuni hu tumi krata yebetimi akyew nti amnesty ni wu general ne de tosu dunum ewa afifufuro ni mu a ene enye obi ne kumentwi ose omo wa akade wo ho a ye ba baabi ti sa abele nkpe ha no mo di besi ha baabi etuo hye bia no wo mo behu baabi e wo no mo abekyew enti ne menye wa adwen se omo aka memfa nko na omo ba na uwo bi wo ho na woni hu krata they gonna arrest you. Aha, Rainbow Radio 87.5 FM, 92.4 FM UK. Metremo ama Orase Richi as it is in Ghana and wasuguswa utien meba.
This is not a peace song, it's a love song. Peace and Ghana getting married, keep the love strong. See a peace we cannot risk. War at home is like
our investigations established that Chairman,
let the trumpet sound victory. The battle that we won is the battle.
Okay, enti yankotie Attorney General and Minister of Justice Ora Dominic Akuritinga Ayeni Efa Ora Chairman Wontumi ene ne hunsem ena afen so Ora Kofi Akpalu de no
Wontumi had approached Kasama Enterprise, an industrial equipment dealer, and obtained an invoice with a promise to return to purchase the said equipment. He never went back to purchase the equipment. Instead, and this is where the criminal enterprise began, he forged the invoice he obtained from Kasama Enterprise by removing the word invoice and replacing it with receipt. This forged receipt was then submitted to Exim Bank as proof that he had purchased the equipment after the disbursement of the loan facility. Investigations established that Chairman Wontumi did not purchase any equipment and as such could not register any equipment in the joint names of Exim Bank and Wontumi Farms Limited as per the loan conditions, even though funds were disbursed to him to that effect. A contract, but constitute acts of criminality by no means a person than the regional chairman of the then ruling party. In the circumstances and the face of the evidence we have gathered in this investigation, thoroughly conducted by the Economic and Organized Crime Office, we have made the decision to prosecute Wontumi Farms and its directors with defrauding by false pretenses, forgery, and causing financial loss to the state in the sum of 24,255,735 Ghana cedi.
Just gone by Dominic Akuritinga Ayeni. Watch them say, Ora Chairman Wontumi, Ninsem Semwa, Beto, 4 million be or koji yellow or koji or 40 document a hodwo and or the koji and Omo de nebe koko tama. One more akotwina so na enya no nkwana okan o can be atwa so efa Ora Kofi Akpalu ho leader and founder of the Liberal Party of Ghana and also yenkotie se ne okan no fae.
Universal Ghana Limited a business entity owned entirely by a lady called Ekua Pomah, was the legitimate contractor that was awarded a feeder rose contract by COCOBOD. The contract, which was valued at 29.5 million Ghana cedis, was awarded in December 2020. Although the project commenced and an initial amount was properly deposited into Pomah Universal Ghana Limited, subsequent payments raised serious concerns regarding misrepresentation, forgery, and unauthorized handling of the checks. Our investigations revealed that Akpaloo secretly incorporated another company, separate and distinct from Pomah Universal Ghana Limited, also known as Pomah Universal Ghana Limited, but deliberately added H to the Pomah. So Pomah is P-O-M-A-A, all right, Ghana Limited, which is a company which is owned by Ekua Pomah. What the company that he incorporated added H to the Pomah, so it became, I don't know how to pronounce it, but the same Pomah Ghana Limited, Universal Ghana Limited. But the difference was just the H at the end of Pomah. And so after having done this, between December 2022 and June 2024, Akpaloo collected 8 checks issued by COCOBOD in the name of Pomah Universal Ghana Limited. That is the original and authentic Pomah, totaling 3.1 million. That is 3,169,432 Ghana cedis and 22 pesos, and deposited them into the account of his own company, that is also Pomah Ghana Limited with an H, at First Bank Ghana Limited.
Okay, and also a Oracle fee Akpaloo Diana Wakan one fancy wa what was so and what should I say? A Oracle fee Akpaloo Diano and yet Nyokan no kwa. There are other issues and also abai no a forgery say wafa kumchina kwan so pone near maybe a gun crata so unimu say and yet them not say and so why and them send a beya ubefa so na ode enya a benefit free
means that Chairman Wontumi had approached Kasama Enterprise
with a
promise to return to purchase the said equipment. He never went back to purchase the equipment. Instead, and this is where the criminal enterprise began, he forged the invoice he obtained from Kasama Enterprise by removing the word invoice and replacing it with receipt. This forged receipt was then submitted to Exim Bank as proof that he had purchased the equipment after the disbursement of the loan facility. Investigations established that Chairman Wontumi did not purchase any equipment and as such could not register any equipment in the joint names of Exim Bank and Wontumi Farms Limited as per the loan conditions, even though funds were disbursed to him to that effect. A contract, but constitute acts of criminality by no means a person than the regional chairman of the then ruling party. In the circumstances and the face of the evidence we have gathered in this investigation, thoroughly conducted by the Economic and Organized Crime Office, we have made the decision to prosecute Wontumi Farms and its directors with defrauding by false pretenses, forgery, and causing financial loss to the state in the sum of 24,255,735 Ghana cedis.
Okay, ain't no otia Orache Wontumi Diana 24 million and over. I no onam allegedly onam kunchuna kwanse no ye den what they ayo ye ain't no one more at the near courts na one more aqua prosecutino I no prosecution no ebejina say wafa kunchuna kwanso aye nkrata endimu ensu oyo ye eno de koji hu sikanti eno ehu ensem eno no na sanya meka kire wo no yenko tie eye Constitutional and Review Committee no womu de omadwuma bewiye womu ko mampani adwesio ene ne kodink tawdie ema ebeto odwa se wɔn kyerɛ mu a ɔmo adwuma no ɔmo awie ɔmo ayɛ recommendations ahodoɔ ne edi kan wɔn say presidential term no and what say the third one count and no ɔmo anfa amanfo anya adwen wɔ ho na emom 4 years na yɛnya no 5 years of 2 terms afei nso 40 years na ɛno na unya ansa na obetimi a contest here no yɛmfa mbra 30 ne yɛnte so ɛna afei ministers a yɛyi free parliament no ɛno nso yɛyi free hɔ na MPs nyɛ MPs ministers nyɛ ministers okoye MP na resign na woyɛ wadwen sɛ yɛbɛma wo ministry appointment you lie you're not gonna get it anti forget about it. Yanko Tiura, Professor H. Kwesi Prempeh, were brought the report no Emo Mampenyi.
Find a place for a third term for the president. So you know, we looked, we couldn't find. I mean, we realized that the president himself doesn't like it. You know, nobody really seems to like it. There wasn't much of a demand for it at all. The only thing about that was the invitation for us to clarify ambiguity, and we didn't even want to go there. We didn't think that 66.2 raised any issues in terms of ambiguity, so we kept it the way it is. However, we believe we took to heart the recommendations that we got from many of the eminent persons that we met, including some who have occupied your seat, that the 4-year term was short. It was too short. And we also then learned that the emerging global norm was 5. And that even in the region, we in Nigeria have the lowest. I mean, 4 is pretty low. So we're proposing an extension by 1 more year. We have coupled that with certain recommendations on in the area of campaigning, because the claim was that the president takes about 6 months or so to set up, and then 1 year campaigning and all of that. So we thought, okay, so if we then follow the example of other countries in Africa, including Senegal, where there is a definite campaign period before which you cannot do electioneering, you can't put posters, can't put billboards, can't do jingles, can't do rallies. So it's like the fishing season. You have to open it before you can go fish. So we are proposing a campaign season, a short one, so that government will have time to govern.
Okay. Professor H. Kwesi Prempeh and Amote Ninkano Wabra or the report no Emma His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and walk catcher and say, oh, Jumeya Odema ye ye tietia mamfwa na tetem na kra ye ka ho asem yen anim se wo mpo anya de a wo enege ho enti eno mpo de ya nka ho asem kra ebimokrasi ambiguity bi wo ho enti anka ebe ya yen komuni yen kodi hu komo eno nso ya ntache na emom 4 years no aye de call 5 years ne de no ne ye afa nso agina ye teso no na campaign period no nso etoda ya abato na wie kra na manfo ninemu krakru eno nso ni nyina ye kan ho asem president no nso di nanu ye ebaye wo promise say dwumadie ye omo adi oda omo ase papa omo ya de na obeye committee fufura womo ebeye implementation of the recommendation na obeyi omumubi na odi akoka ho na omo edi sa adwuma ne yentie omampanyi His Excellency John Dramani Mahama.
Come at the right time. We will implement it in a bipartisan manner. All of us would come together and implement as many of the provisions as possible. I take, for instance, the issue of the Council of State and the enormous powers the government, the president is giving to make appointments. I believe that the Council of State giving a bigger role in those appointments will create more credibility in terms of people who are appointed to those positions. Of course, the president will still sign the appointment letters, but the Council of State will go through the process of identifying the persons to be appointed. So these are all some of the teasers I was giving before, which you are now hearing. And I want to thank the committee very much on behalf of the people of Ghana. You have done a great service to our nation. We're moving from the constitutional review process into the implementation process. And so early next year, we would announce an implementation committee. And of course, we're going to call some of you to come and serve on that committee because we need that institutional memory transferred into the implementation.
Okay, just gone by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ena wakasa ye ne sene amedi chire mo se o moya de ye boma baso na ye wura 2016 mu a ye be ye adwuma pa recommendation na mode aba no ye be bohu dewuro na ye de aye adwuma na meyi mu bi kra be ka committee na ye be ye no ewo 2026 na ye de be ye adwuma na someone him say MPP for so mugu so mu ye adwuma omo ebe call omo primaries na Brian Champon has been talking to the media na one your sister station ba ko kasa ye no watch say oh mo money nam na mo kasi ya ntu aba mo bi na nepa na mo boni din kra no no o kom a mo de no ka obewe poto Ghana for your my be so no mo de ne ba obewe no eye Brian there is the best bet to mo pana hona mo koto aba mo bi fufra oh forget about it, you're not gonna get it. Ain't in MPP delegates mumfa adenin team so na on an crown what to say bi mo kra ye polls say oh obi na edi nkunim na say polls ni say nya delegates ni nyina na woni omokọ say ebi kume bi ela mo ni omokọ kasa nti polls de eno ento normal eno adwenkyerɛ kɛkɛ na ebi mo kyerɛ nti wo de yɛnkɔ tie no ene ne nsɛm bi a wakeka. I'm trying say ora Brian Champon de no mensa beka na me de amamona mwetie ono a nenum nsɛm a na ɔka
12 people out of 800. If you poll 12 people in Abitifi out of 800, is it representative?
Yes, if you did it with mathematical precision like the statisticians do, which he said he has done. Yes.
12 people in Abitifi out of 800. Can you predict with that?
It depends on how the sampling was done.
Let's move on.
This is Face to Face on Channel 1 television. My guest is Dr. Brian Champon, NPP flag bearer, aspirant and hopeful. I am Umaru Sandamado. When we come back, what is his track record in private life? He's told me that, but in public office, what has he done? For which reason the NPP should entrust him with its flag? Please stay with us.
Okay. Enti ni ahu ye no anani awote ye na ye ora Brian Champon no ka se oh polls ya mo ka ho asemi nipa no wakọ peki kakre bi pe eno de ye na de mo nso mo se eno na ye representation of ni nyina da bi entisa enti no entime mba ne se senia mo kana no dem no te ono nso e wadwen foforo wo ho yenkotie another aspect na wo kire se ono eno se fata obetimi edi nkunimu a obedi djuma na oba public office hu odi ni hu ni pa odi ni hu ni
public office. Oh, I think I listed them.
I mean, so what have you done individually? Because you are accused of hoarding fertilizers, and because your fertilizer didn't go to the farmer in Tumu or in Hamile, that is why the MPP lost. And this is something that would be... There are so many things, including the 10 sins of Brian Champon, all flat on your face.
And that you are interested in the first one, but nobody can say that. Because that never happened.
As Minister for Agriculture.
You can't even use it as propaganda because it didn't happen. It never happened. Nothing of that sort happened. So we can keep that. But I don't think that distribution fertilizer is an achievement in itself.
If it's a government intervention,
no, it is not an achievement. It cannot be an achievement. Indeed, if I distributed fertilizer efficiently, in itself cannot be an achievement. Okay. It's the food systems that I developed, ensuring that we have a proper food systems that is able to produce for a growing population year on year. What did we do? Major irrigation infrastructure that started under under me, expansion of VIA, expansion of Tammany. Tammany was something that John Mahama in his first term has started, a contract of 14 million. My predecessor, Akoto, extended it to 120 million cedis contract. I took it to 1 billion cedis under Tammany, so that we have enough irrigation infrastructure on that scheme to be able to produce food year on year. Almost 20,000 hectares of land that we developed. 10,000 of that was supposed to be under irrigation to ensure that year on year we are producing food for this country. 3, ensuring that we have enough inputs in the system. In 2023, I make sure that we have almost 3 billion cedis worth of inputs.
Parliament 9th one isha say new entrance bebre na one of them ora honorable Ashikote ono ena oko odododio constituency a ono ena sesia oyemrahye ni bedwani wo ho na yankwa homane so na yene no ending town the honorable ewie yama wakwaba edeba as it is in Ghana on Rainbow Radio 87.5 FM, Ghana 92.4 FM UK. Ya jidi se bibia boko.
Yo dromo na no friend no kasi bidin. Nenya o tubo le fe ni chia wuti na. Enia mo fe mo ni mabubiara afisiapa.
Ye TF1 so ejo so na obi bebisa say 9th parliament isha say as a first timer ura parliament no what has been the experience for you process course so niama hodo course wo mrahye bedwem no what they to senior so na wasese a obi bebisa say what has been the experience for you so far?
Okay, as for the experience, dear. The Fobeka said it's been overwhelming because I went to Parliament with, an open mind because now I'm into a very good politician and also a parliamentarian. And we found some constituency in mining in Nora. Before I'm a now at least member of Parliament, I hear Juma Pen. There are some ideas but decisions do change. And my call with any huge expectations, they are except the command me who find out idea. Now based on the message and meeting from 1 year the constituent. There were times that it was fun and your energy thing. There were times that it was serious. I want to hear serious government business. Should deal for me. The kicker home, pass bills, all of that. Different processes. I hold on the course of Parliament. And meanwhile, the war procedures yes, after already here. And for me, like a moment for me to learn and to be first and the bomb and the best year. The best year at the we share to your party, your parliament. There were rules, there were numbers and for the quorum for the business on the floor. Or number to really form the quorum to take a decision. There were procedure. Any party bill is introduced to act is being introduced to parliament. And then more than the act. There were in fact, never be brave and the person be question corner. So you have to go and file your question. Now the appropriate minister now and to prepare your question. Now about floor of the house. Now what the answer? You're not done, but you might be about 5 or more questions. My first year of mine, a bit of questions concerning the Salaga market. Now, that's what chair, maybe before Anthony examined Anthony, Yaba Power, I could be some question. I'm a local government akwaba ya no ama and then you can say oh yes alaga contractor acco inside all your juma my visa question on the same school speak akasa free the Minister for Education Nola Rabbi Idris Abba another answer to that question. Any other schools what the constituency why previous government, I job let's see what for the past 8 years. My basic questions about in so many other things I have the constituency, and we are the young ministers about the year no money. And for me, to say I was able to learn quickly enough to get the skill to catch the speaker's eye and also his attention. And see, I think so. Parliament but I do not do baby. The outcome is to say, which way MP Waba, and no one shall rebel and things are. And mentioning the same share the constituents and you say, I don't really call it, normally on copper, but only call it 7 days, you mapa, and find share of the deal, dinner ready game and pursue from where my page for me, dear, I feel this year. Then also, I call moving country, I think the last time, won't be a CA. Now, the speaker, up chair, the parliament, minority first, speaker, and then because to be the eye of the Kasa, if what catch the eye of the speaker, now I'm more opinion say Kasa. Like the minority Kasa, now I do majority, so now majority leader, and I almost and more majority leader and Kasa. There are your procedures, and you silence here. But same as here, we are no, and all of me for home, say, issue you don't come and fight your issue. On the floor of Parliament in the chamber, and that is why we have something called conclave, where leadership could share and look at the business of the day, normal take a decision, normal come to terms with what the situations are and agree, and on what to do and reason and agree. But if you come and pour your frustrations on the floor of the house now, one, not only distorted by parliamentary business. Number two, the embarrassing the country Ghana because all over the world we are air share the parliament because of its august nature. So we say parliament all over the world to send a new Mahumbi Omaba just to come and sit and observe how we do things, our modus operandi or parliament. Yes,
but the majority claims say more super majority nti mu intimidate omo eba ne say ye adwuma eho brase bedie mu a mu hunhun omo enso enya ade omo be ma mu ho kwan like they call themselves mighty minority. They would insist on their right and say omo be ma ni omo pese omo kan omo aka enye intimidation bia na omo be ma ho kwan say mo inside mu nothing imagine, one person I always bad, or money. Yes, we have the numbers. If we are, but anything big I don't know. But person I respect, and I have always done so even before. Speaker is what? If I right honorable our banking from Simana Bagni, the level of fairness this man has exhibited, regardless of the numbers. Let me be quite we outweigh them about 1:3 or even more. And if of the match Akunya Maya Kasa or Flona, Anka or say Nipa Yenu Sankasa, and San Omania Bako, the virtue of equity of numbers. But Papa is daily. Almost a crana. Say any Baku Kasa, or Nipa Baku Akasa. So that is the level of fairness we are all enjoined to tell of you. And so I'm saying, don't be intimidated. Papa is good for Ma Samba.
say the idea, only say because of the numbers we have, the number we are encofiada, and then they resort to Takashi, like I want to say, Bukumbo brother will say Takashi. But that will not resolve any issue in such a refined parliament like that of Ghana. And so, the more consultative, approach now in Yajuma, they cannot continue to denigrate parliament because your numbers are empty. The movie Takashi and after the Didia and Union and Sana, they are limited and so much. So, what's the meaning there? What's the meaning there? Put you with time. Whatever bar. What's the meaning there? What's the meaning there? I hope you understand. Yes, so this is where we are. And we are not intimidating them anyway. They feel intimidated by our numbers because we have not acted it out. I didn't say we're going to act it out and come over the parliament. But no, not at all.
Say your number no a number Ghana for share that dear mamo. How sure are we say Sebi more number no in the sense that Democrat say even in the absence of the minority caucus, no, you can take decision, you can pass bills, you can do a lot of things. Ain't you know ya share na mako masa dia na ya mutirimu de na mako ye bibie wo ho. Eno ya mo hia mo dwen sa concerns na Ghana for raising ho. Hello. Yeah, me tell on camp. Sir, what me question there?
Question and I'm saying, this is why I was saying, NDC majority, your credit, say, you're very lenient, and we have respect. We have. Because of the Kaya, even when they had just about a slim majority, just about 1 or 2 majority in Tono. Say, name of the MA or Ghana. Just say, I want to to the extent that they have to go to court to make sure say the one sitting in the chair as a speaker because of our constituency team of the yes to make a statement. But look at our numbers. We still can take decisions. We can hold meetings, legitimate parliamentary business and all of that. But watch, have we tried that even once? No. We always engage them. If they are a consortium, then make government business because then that's our money back on the before even though we have the numbers, they are engaging at every level to make sure say we work together as a whole parliament. I don't think that will be nice but Ometiana we make sure say we bridge the level of misunderstanding with a gaba that is why even that day Sikasi say Mr. Speaker Kasabetinasi the Kasaya Stilamonti out of the wisdom of the speaker or say okay you must break kaka and offer a conclave with the leadership so you conquer to our dream. Now your brother in Alliance says oh but because of a small number speaker was able to hold parliament on for a meeting conclave and no catch say there is no way minority for Kasa, majority for Kasa. It's never done. But Kasa, you know, no Muslim Kasa. Okokaya, someone you, many hobby. But back to the chamber, I get to everything. Of clearly say, these are the rules of the standing orders that guides Parliament. It is a more better emphasis rules in your Jumadia and the young standing orders. And Sana, but tonight, but send us standing of it. Unfair associate. And of course, and offer majority. Hey, you know, sorry again. Giddy, no, 30 chance in him. Giddy. In that way, just take action, okay. So I can't. One more the advice. One frame of concrete. And no matter discuss it. Say, one casa, I will say, for majority phone casa. Nothing I'm not in India. Okay. Then we should allow business to go on. We are the coffee business. It is always said that was the last resort. Engagement signing, baby. But what am I doing? Say, and you cannot grind government business to a halt. Yes, sir, you want to collapse the country. It is a time that you are doing person to get government collapse. No, be answered your mama bomb the Anamogua. The Bayer Juma. And they will try to work with them. The Babomba say, no, Bayer Juma. But some common say, then a man Juma Kosodia. And you will have no choice. The Bayer done Juma. But we are willing to work with them. And we demonstrated it at all levels, even to the highest, of breaking parliament to go and discuss. But they say, yes, this is how, these are the things some of us are also picking up. So, and what did you do? And the honest is sad and Mundi. But the review of your own body, look at that. People know me, you need to confirm up. Come on, the video. And I'm charging. You say, no, I can't move you. You can't say anything. They are trying to engage you. They are trying everything. They are trying. You will not be reasonable. The baby Amujina now say, if you don't change, then your stance is wrong. And you and your own public and also buying. Now I say to me, show I buy a man say, now wow, Danny won't because about we are money. Yes. But at least so all of these I know. And send you also leadership in Franco conclave. Now I'm going to discuss it. Now I say Juma and sign on the about. But Obama says you be fantasy Juma the end of
definitely, you may have your positive Niama also say parliament where sitting a call ye Mwetimi Achoke, but Obinsu Baby say, what do you think going forward? No, you can do better to ensure say house hono yenya that kind of decorum no na you made dia was a cost wo mrashebe dwom etimi akoso.
Yo be that see. I think that from where I sit, any the experience being an exposure, Makunya, you say yes. Engagement now the right way to go. I believe so. And every step, a bit entrenchy, the level of engagement Yadi Parliament in India. I will support that. And if there is any other way, better, I will embrace it. But as it stands now, politics is all about dialogue. We have gone past the stage where you do politics. Now, so I can't say now you go for our other side. Don't be saying from Disney, you say Papa Rollins. And now I say, but I'm going to create on my say. The fair coup d'etat. What the sub-Saharan Africa was sponsored by them. Someone who would be by a first to Kwame Nkrumah. And the million that is here. And all that time, I came in fact, it to any country, any giddy, and no human being. Even the Almighty. Is that to your co-elections? I don't know what to lay. People are becoming politically aware. And you are not. You have to make elections in the review for the first time. Nothing was built. If you go fighting anywhere, the two wasn't him. The young people we have become awaiting that. How much more their right from their wrongs? And you say, media, I will continue to encourage the engagement. Myself, I engage people from the other side. because we have to make friendships and get to learn, from people and all that, build experiences and all that. Yes. And I think that is the right way to go. We cannot be enemies over politics. Party as here. Except at every stage we have to be careful and make sure we are doing the right things. And for me, I'll continue to support the engagement. And the engagement must come with reasonable comprehension. Reasonable. If it stands for if it has to be said, you have to back down on your stance at any level. It doesn't make you weak. It makes you come to realization, say, but I'm a general and sometimes now politicians say, let's see, take this stand at the Senate now, and you're quiet now, and also a higher. And it's a consultative approach in I believe that is the only way.
Finally, Constitutional Review Committee, you are no. One much more moko mrashe bedwam na wase yesi samra no sene be ya yem mamu ministerial appointment empo se koba ne se nipa no ye MP no resign na oye na adwen se o wo be pe ministerial appointment aye maye mfi no that aspect no ekoba ne se ye beto ato ho adwene na ye de edi dwuma ebi mo arezi consensus se mumra se bedwam no mo anhwe yi a eho no enya ade a mo befo aso. Is there something amususu say ebeboa yende couple aye parliament from the executive na mo pese mo komra se bedwam mo nko ye mo adwuma na mo per ministerial appointment no nso no mo focusing on the no se ne be ya ye benya that true separation of powers no be ending ni lemu ana.
Okay. That is a very heavy one. One more recommendations, the Constitutional Review Committee, my more recommendations. The first thing I would like to say is I'm a member of Parliament. I am not a minister or a deputy minister yet, but I'm doing my business. That doesn't mean I'm doing my business of parliamentary service to my constituents and for Parliament. That is not to say obeying MP, make forces any appointment. That is not for me to say. All I can say quickly now is that everything every decision that has legal basis, comes with two parts: the spirit and the letter. I have read the letter, but I also need to be convinced with the spirit that informed that letter. What is it? And I think I need to get a lot more understanding to be able to make a very informed decision when it comes to this.
But the question is, do you as an MP support that MP nye Juma as MP, na Minister nye Juma as MP? Se bamra shebe jumwa, is this something na wo be kase ane me fuaso ana yema status quo no and remain
okay. It can be the earlier. One thing I say. What I'm saying is that once the spirit has been, the letter has been spelled out, okay, there needs to be what we call the spirit. I need to understand what the reasons are. You understand?
The reason
to say that. I cannot just read something and say, because Yaka Science and me fasu. I must have reasons why. But
the example is Obia himself Parliament. You have an oversight responsibility. Executive ni ye bibi na ebamra shebe dwuma wo se mu peru sumu se e bia ban na edi loan bi a eboro so bebre a e wo se mutimi nya akokrudo na mo kase o we de enya ade a ebe ye
mami so me bi tawa so ni ma wo kwachi kwa mami bi tawa now say the NDC MP of Parliament, not me per se me government, answer CD as a government. Now government no air loan. I mean in loan a divided CC motorway now, come kuma. Adawacha, you get to manja share air sen. And the government take a loan no from the CC motorway in 1999. If I'm not a minister, and I should say no. So if that is the reason, that will not have the effect they want to see. What you must hear. I believe in building career parliamentarians. That I believe in that. Who will be well vexed, who will be learned, who will be, build themselves up to do parliamentary business. I believe in it because we need those aspects to stay and make sure, say, parliamentary business is done, to the best of its capacity. Be that as it may, like I'm saying, if the system now feel say because of an MP appointment, I cannot say no or yes. What I'm saying is that if collectively we all agree that is good to go, then by good dynamics, I'll have no choice than to also abide by it. To get minister in there, the deputy minister in there, I make us say, if Waswa, Yabeji, the appointment the film in 70. No. But I'm being honest in this matter and I'm saying it as I believe it to be. Unless, of course, I'm giving very good reasons why and the effect that will have, on government business and parliamentary business, they are in terms of separation there. Then once I'm giving that, I'll abide by that. I think you are giving me this as a reason, and that reason will not work because I'm an MP and I'm an NDC MP or I'm an MPP MP. Let me come in there. Look at okay, my first example, we want to change, but and no end to mean the objective that they are projecting. You understand? I think we can look at it in other ways and find more stronger reasons. That is what I think. But for the sake of independence, then you can say, government take it there to find copper unit. Because if I'm an NDC, Nina the government to be dinner a daily year. That's the way I can say no. Sorry. Yes.
Finally, Yembisa say MPs financial struggles ebi mu fam no dem pa MPs bi wo ho a ahomachu bedru ni fie amanfo gina na boboa no me beji school fees me yira wo me peska ko yi na free hospital me koye wedding me peska me koye yie me peska. That kind of experience na asha se be ba wo dan no ana.
In the one of us in capital letters, a place like Odudu, we've always had that challenge of who genuinely needs support. But genuinely, I mean, of course, there are times that some people take advantage and all of that, but genuinely, there are people who need help, which ought to be attended to, and so it has always been. In fact, even before I became a member of parliament, I was doing that kind of thing for close to 16 years because I grew up like that and I saw myself as a giver. So I'd always done things to support. And for me, I knew how to do before I became a member of parliament. And any idea, make us say, but the fact say, not always now. Ubenya Adma Ubenu, and no is my problem. Because we did some giving us a man to me, and I'm a near money pana. No, in say Nipano or how one pa air. Have it for me into Minda. Before Nona, the quantum no is all this high. As you see, I'm a member of parliament. I think say the obligation kind of and the expectation also kind of and the amount numbers not also. For example, Christmas here I had the Matumia Chiche rice and oil. Amount close to 3,000 people awarded the constituency.
Hey, 3,000.
Just for them to have, yes, my brother. Just for them to be able to at least have, a good meal for this Christmas. And also to me near Omobi, Omondi Kakra, say at least they are also counted as part of the people. And they're easy. And we don't tell me at the end of a young. And the challenge is there. Now, I always pray that one thing I tell God, say, Yami Mamifika, because people's lives depend on it. It has been a major prayer of mine. God, make way for me because people's lives depend on it. Obi Waha, if that you're here 100 Ghana to save him at that particular moment. We got to now flower and Aju. Sometimes 12 midnight, 1 a.m. or pound chop. Or 20 Ghana kete their top bread. No to me dimpo no musungu to now on that. I try so better a common dynamic and yamin shil. In the Robert Miada. The worst part, me say they are not if they are mobile money in me phone so. Go home in midnight, some be fair from out just to solve the person's problem. And it is there. The challenges are there. You have why you have more money and say very resolve it, but it is there. That is the reality. Oh yes.
Yeah, the young commoner, Bessie, I mean, say holiday way there. Why a hot intino? Yeah, we show Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We know a dear now be catch Ghana from teach you what constituents are more the Dio constituency.
You made that His Excellency John Mahama, any the Vice President Madam Nana, President Nana Asi, me Jumapa, Omo Yema Yemai, Amayemu Bidi, I am so proud. Say we told the people to vote for us. I mean, sure, me Mamusu Afishapa, ministers, me, mom, government business, me na. The chairman of Afishapa, the Speaker of Parliament himself, Right Honorable Abanga Bene, the deputies, any leadership of Parliament, any colleagues, MPs, the Mobia Afi, the Council Magana for me na Afishapa. Neha, the be fake, Magia Chama, you know, that be the last person on the ground. Neha Mofem, Afi, Yabaninawo, Afina, Apiwo. Afi benalo tedin kwa kafuotea afine opebonwo jishishie na ka opemishe kenyama yi afile afi bene no ya keshwele muso ebaga afi bene ne wopajin fen wo bia abadwele wo mi afi bene efe ni wajebuye oje no imo femo na kwenu ni okoja no ajowo ye binu ni ko ti ashi intwa fa shi akemawa ni wo ma eya no binu ye fe nye kenye kon awushishi Yetesoni mwapiani yefenye fatai wonye watwaga wa mashibonisa ni modromo na inje nuchumo shishi yehemo keila ke nuchumo isanye hini maja no ni mafilo juba ni wasafie ona ni be more than boni wonale was school trainer ba bina agbe na hawo was salaga market agbe na hawo court house agom school sanya agbe na o road ni fite anya agbe na hawo bibi ni gba ona tumo water in get the ministry again, Chenkan Mammy, Jimmy, the minister question, they answer at the Bejano, only Modromona, Osafi, Ayafi, Wala, in Biwala, Nihamo Femo, in Binoya, Keshulimo, the Mamma of Fair and Charmy, Crank, Nebu of Fair, he. Nico Abutafi hear me. Kokeshida Misa, what can Upijimau, the you are about the modern year woman, they go off and can found.
Honorable, we bedas papa said despite the holiday, when you bre any attrition common shall pa.
Amen. Yamisha so mommy and shall pa. Thank you.
Okay. Just gone by a year, the Honorable Member of Parliament for a year Ododio constituency, Honorable Ashikote Ena Wote Nenkano, Jumedie no assets in Ghana, Medin Rashido Buda province, Sanya Mekachra Wono, a way metinemu at the Ama Serichi, or no Ena Akunyane Enedia, Ene, watching nature or semintinemu and famano. Ye befa calls no. Na nkoma hodra yedi ene ewa ha no yetie fo nso monso mwetimi abemu na MPP fo nso a wakumas memu nso kasa omo se ra Kennedy Japan aw adwobrao eya atoa no da braka kakra na ensemni bia ya wokeka no fa we mframa kakra fa ona atem didie no ni nsɛm bia ya wo keka no de bi almost rewa ntia ya na wato bo kakra.
We are here to make some press statements on the need for decorum and responsible campaign conduct. We, the undersigned constituency communication officers of the New Patriotic Party in the Ashanti region, representing 40 out of the 46 constituencies wish to welcome Honorable Kennedy Japan to the region for his flag bearership campaign. Similarly, we would like to also bring the attention of Honorable Ohia Japan and members of his campaign to growing concerns from our grassroots supporters of the party about some of his conduct and comments during his visit in the Ashanti region, particularly Kumawu constituency. This region is our stronghold of our dear party. As frontline communication members of the party, we dedicate significant time and effort defending the NPP and promoting its image on various media platforms. However, we consistently face difficulties responding to concerns and criticisms arising from intemperate language, tribal insinuations, religious and ethnic undertones, and other divisive statements that have become associated with Honorable Kennedy Japan and some of his campaign team. These recurring challenges undermine our work and weaken the party's public image, particularly at a time when unity, discipline, and message coherence are essential. In contrast, we wish to note that defending the record and public engagement of His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia present no such difficulty, as his conduct and communication style remain respectful, issue-based, and appealing to the Ghanaian public. We therefore serve a call to Honorable Kennedy Japan, as he has begun his campaign in the Ashanti region. We expect him and his team to exercise the highest level of circumspection in their public utterances. We will not tolerate any form of hate speech, insults, and vituperation from him against any of the aspirants, as has been modus operandi since campaign for the January 31st contest began. The Ashanti region remains the stronghold of the NPP, and we will not countenance comments or actions that sow division, damage party cohesion, or provide ammunition to our political opponents. We urge all aspirants and their supporters to adhere strictly to the values of respect, unity, and responsible communication as we work collectively toward the source of our party. Long live the New Patriotic Party, long live Ashanti, long live Ashanti Region Communication Officers. Thank you.
I just gone by and so Ashanti Region Communicators I almost say send your attempt the be free or Kennedy Japan camp or bano one ton a book akra no shia or Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia or no Ceciano the campaign no need dear wo ho obuo wo ho attempt the animu nti no on shia no na sebi on the supporters no womunja attempt the ni be fa calls no UK for no monfre wo ye WhatsApp line so 0500 875 875 0500 875 875 and I feel so no Ghana for no bet me a friend was 0204 875 875 0209 875 875 ye din komo bebre ama eneno etuo ho asema ye di ye mpanyfo kire mu a mukita ntuo na nkrata eni hu no momfambro sane ye be ya enkoba ne se ye be ba be chill deadline itwemu a ye be chill. Hello, your friend say na wo free.
No.
But your friend say na wo free. Hello. Na homa no akate enyem na mekate no nti obetimi asan frebium 0204 875 875 0209 875 875 ofra na enkomo ahodo ene yedi hu enkomo wa ha no na wa kire wa dwen. Hello, your friend say na wo free.
We are abeku wo temple
ba cho yenti o
and anyone be free ah we are saying o bi to only quite the middle of Ghana, I would say, or how to take Uganda and move over to the door. Who was the police here? Yes, so probably to Mama. Oh, my man. I just go to your man who does it. From what you mean, I don't know. Who got the woman? Who got the man? I don't see a man. I go let my wife.
Yes, so yeah, that's Papa. Mpacho mo fra na mo ben radio na mo dum radio na ma me why 0204-875-875 0209-875-875 and 0500-875-875 for UK phone. Hello, your friend saying now free him.
Hello.
Hello, Mpacho ujina so your friend saying now free him.
I'm a free adenta.
Mpacho yentio.
Okay.
Mpacho yentio.
I Canada, Japan, Asamano. Canada, Japan, Quebec, can yen disqualify no, party non disqualify no, for contesting NPP seat as a parliamentary presidential candidate. Because why, Yama or you know, you can mistake no being vote to mano, so by your president. Or the main in a Bakodich, the Nimukata, the man comfort the woman who happened, but no.
And so, yeah, that's the Papa say, wo fraying 0500-875-875 who are outside Ghana. Now you can now pass fra. You can call through that line and our thing. So 0204-875-875 0209-875-875. Pacha Frost and our free.
Professor.
Pacha Frost and our free.
I know why in a jump on you.
Okay. Pacha ain't you.
And the last week, Assembly and Pesek and the South was. I said, now, transport system first, you know. That junk is, you know, Omuna, Omukati South program, no. Ono, Ojaba stop, or no, determine right to the cutting, yes, you know. Java needed the ono. You got 10 city. John Tinicas was 10 city. A double one from Pokiasi, Achimeta to Pokiasino. Don't give back 10 city. Or no, that's Savannah. It was that task force for nobody can teach donkeys, you know. Or what you show more, Saturday in a day, a 2 chap. What are they? It's my task force for no, or my son. So I want to teach donkeys in a JJ about sauce, no. I want to determine our prices, you know. What are they? It's only a Saturday now, a 2 chap. Putting a minute, a few Japan so.
Come back to Yaminsun Show. Hello. Okay, 0204-875-875 0209-875-875. Outside Ghana, see 0500-875-875. Hello, your friend send out free.
Hello.
But your friend send out free.
Englishman, Rashid, good day.
It's saying.
Hello, I was to connect Richmond and what I
okay, Richmond, it's you.
We say, young people say, just about Jacobify, play your phone. So, Jacobify, but well, buy for it. Only, Jacobify on your never play a phone black. No, almost see this for me. Somebody, wedding, almost see maybe.
Okay, yeah, that's the Papa Rich Boy. 0204-875-875 0209-875-875 and our face 0500-875-875. In command, ya di bebre a 2 once a month in 4 can say, Mam, wait you or more than Muni who crate diano. Ya mamma, Cosi General, and there tosu dunum. Ewa fifu fronim na mode aba o de ba yem bisa ohwe yem bisa baby auto free. Hello, your friend say now free. Yeah.
Me pacha me di Sarah, me ka Africa lawyer.
Okay, mpacha yenti o.
Me pacha me ka about a tune. Esa etune ina mo da bande o ma ya bia pa. O mo ko no mo di ni na so mo. After the first training, concern about brothers for no, or more gentlemen, woman, no woman, she woman now. Hello.
Yeah.
Okay. Hello.
It's you.
They say that also be able to. About brothers for no. One my only one more day, almost certain coffee, but so many pictures, you know. And some of the one of them, why?
Ti omu nyina efamra kwan so wo frɛ 0204